A best-selling author is out with a new book this week, profiling the heroic story of a World War II veteran, and both are from our area. In this special on the Pennsylvania Road, Jon Meyer talks with both of them and shows us film footage of that vet in battle. Footage that can be disturbing, but footage that helps tell quite a tale.
He now walks with a cane. He's very soft-spoken.
This has a larger gun on.
But 95-year-old Clarence Smoyer's memories of his many battles as a tank gunner in World War II are still vivid.
I always used to say, you gotta fire quick and straight.
This tank at the American Legion in Gilbert was a spot for us to meet the veteran who has quite the war stories that few have heard. That's about to change through this book, Spearhead.
Did you know how special your story is?
I knew there was a story there, but they could do a good job. They do a good job.
By they, he means New York Times best-selling author Adam Makos.
Clarence's story is so incredible because he did act of heroism after act of heroism, and it just kept going and going all the way up to the last days of World War II.
The Pennsylvania Road links Makos and Smoyer. The author grew up in Montoursville. The veteran is from Lehighton. One of Makos' friends from Lehighton pushed him to talk to Smoyer.
So Pete stayed on me for 10 years saying, interview Smoyer, interview Smoyer. Finally, one day I went and did it, and I said, oh my God, one of the best stories of World War II has been sitting right in front of me.
Not only did Smoyer have a compelling story to tell, but there was film footage of Smoyer and his tank crew in action. A tank crew that included another Pennsylvania connection, John DeRiggi from Scranton. Their tank led the 3rd Armored Division, known as Spearhead, into the battle to take the German city of Cologne to help bring an end to the war in Europe. Smoyer remembers the order.
Gentlemen, I give you Cologne. Let's knock the hell out of it. And we did.
And a lot of that was thanks to Smoyer, DeRiggi, and America's brand new powerful Pershing tank. They came upon the highly feared German Panther tank, and Smoyer took the key shots in what's considered one of the war's legendary tank duels. Smoyer fired first, the Germans forced to flee their burning tank.
I pulled my gun over, fired once. I hit him. I knew I hit him.
He took out that Panther in the shadow of one of Europe's iconic cathedrals, helping the U.S. take that pivotal city.
It was scary. I was very scared, always scared.
News footage of Smoyer's success was sent back home to show the German effort faltering.
Really, really thankful, thankful, yeah. It could have been the end for us there if we had not got the first shot off.
There's film of Smoyer's involvement in the fight of Cologne, but this came after he lost many friends in other battles across Europe.
He's fighting in the Battle of the Bulge. He's the first tank through the West Wall. He's leading the way through the city of Cologne. And then at the end, he's attacking the Nazi Fort Knox, battling tank on tank up to the last day of the war.
Sometimes you must be amazed that you survived all this.
Yeah. Somebody was riding with me. Somebody was going along with me, surely.
And the horrors of war have been with Smoyer ever since, leading him to reach out to one of the German soldiers in one of the German tanks on that day in Cologne, even traveling to that city all these years later to meet Gustav Schaefer.
I said to him, the war's over, we can be friends now. Yeah.
A move by Smoyer actually saved that German's life, shooting at a building instead of Schaefer's tank, the crumbling building disabling the Nazi tank, but saved that crew, saved Schaefer.
I said to him, maybe I'll see you again someday. Yeah, in heaven he's going to be. Shortly after that he did pass away, and I guess he's paving the way for me up there, saving the spot for me, I hope.
Of all the memories those one-time enemies share from Cologne, one really haunted the American and the German. Both shot at a car fleeing the battle zone. Both saw a woman fall out of that car. Both feared for decades that they killed her. Both were haunted by images of soldiers having to move on, leaving her behind to die. But they convinced each other she was a victim of war, not them. This film had them replaying that in their minds for years.
You watched it much?
I've seen a lot of time. I've seen a lot of time in my dreams.
Probably more in your dreams.
Yeah.
Now, Corporal Smoyer's war horrors and triumphs are preserved in print. Makos and Smoyer are on a book tour promoting Spearhead, sharing Smoyer's historic story with the world.
It's my home away from home.
And Makos surprised Smoyer at the book release party in Harrisburg with an actual Sherman tank outside, similar to the one the tank gunner spent much of the war cramped inside, where much of the Spearhead story plays out.
Well, I want to drop you into the tank with Clarence Smoyer. You are on his crew. You're seeing what he saw.
Smoyer will sign a lot of these in the coming weeks. It was a true honor to have this humble hero sign one for us.
Best part is knowing that he got to hold it. He gets to have his time in the spotlight. Now his friends and neighbors get to find out what he actually did all those years ago, and that we've had a great hero living in our midst the whole time.
Do you feel like a hero?
I'm still the same old guy.
And Jon joins me now.
It really was quite a story to sit and listen to him tell firsthand what he went through. And I've read Spearhead, and it really is incredible to see the amount of battles that Clarence Smoyer was involved in along with his fellow tank soldiers. And we mentioned that Smoyer wasn't the only one from our area on that tank. John DeRiggi from Scranton passed away in 2005, but his family posted online about knowing this story and being very proud of it too. They all saw so many horrors in the war, and it's all here. It's all in this book. It's very compelling. It's awe-inspiring, and it certainly was an honor getting to meet Mr. Smoyer and getting to share his story. Of course, you can read a lot more of it here.
His story is a great one to tell.
It certainly is, Scott.
Thank you very much, Jon.